All right, and welcome into the Betting Pros College Football Show. 134 teams began the season with hopes and dreams of hanging a championship banner. Now we're just down to 2 remaining. On this final episode of the season, we'll break down the college football playoff national championship game with our best bets and player props for the occasion. I'm your host, Seth Woolcock, and gentlemen, what a ride this has been. This show, this season, it has taken my CFP obsession to another level. Hopefully it did yours as well. One person I have to thank for that is my partner in crime, Scott, Bet the Total Bogman. Boggs, it came, it went, and I don't know if you're like me, but I'm already jumping out of my chair today when I saw FanDuel release their first batch of season win totals for next year.
Seth, I mean, absolutely. Your love for college football has grown and grown a million times. Before the show started, you're like, we got win totals for 2025. Let's take a look. We're going over them. I'm like, I'm just not ready. I'm still too busy over here being sad about, both of our college teams losing and then our Steelers losing on Saturday too. Not a fun weekend for us, but we will power through. And we do still have a very good national championship game. So excited about that. And then the NFL draft is coming and we can bet on the combine.
Yes.
We can bet on the draft. There's a lot of stuff still to go through, so lots left to do.
We're also joined tonight by maybe the hottest name in the transfer portal right now, with offers currently from Ohio State Buckeye Nation and Texas State. Their faithful reached out in the comments last week. They're interested in acquiring the services of Terrell Furman Jr.
Hey.
How are we doing today, man?
Hey, and I like Texas State. I think that's a good one. That might be in the lead. I like Texas State. I love that offense. So yeah, I could sell myself on joining the Texas State ranks, and maybe we get some Big Brother games and we can punch Big Brother and be able to steal a win here or there. I might be able to get down with dog mentality with Texas State here. So I like it. Unfortunately, both my co-hosts had a long weekend and long week after thinking about everything that happened, and I just want to sit here and give us a moment of silence for them and their great seasons. They were almost there at the mountaintop, and it got pulled away. So little quick moment of silence here. All right, that's enough.
Yeah, moment has passed. Thank you, Terrell. I feel that, though, man. I woke up on Sunday morning after the Steelers had lost, after Penn State had lost.
That was a bad weekend for y'all.
Yeah,
that was a
really
back horrible weekend.
It was Thursday and Saturday for Seth, and Friday and Saturday for me. So,
man,
extra terrible.
Yeah,
yes,
I woke up Sunday. I said, I think I'm not going to drink for a couple days. I said, I'm also ready for NASCAR season and to start looking at some 2026 futures. So, yeah, we got
baseball
a long way.
rankings this weekend for me. So,
okay,
yeah,
all right.
At least I had something to watch. I was just kind of, spectating.
True. But you didn't have your heart ripped out like we did, and we'll touch on that tonight. We are going to react to the semifinal games, and then we'll get into the handicapping for the Natty, and then Boggs is going to give us his player props at the end of the show as well. I did want to shout out everyone who's been along with us on this journey all season long. It's been super awesome. It's been a great time. We appreciate it. If you're watching here on YouTube, do us one more favor. Let us know below in the comments your best bets for the Natty. And while you're here, please like this video if you enjoy this type of content and subscribe to the channel if you're new. And before we jump in, I did want to give the Discord, the BP Discord, a shout out one more time this season as well. Looking to up your game in sports betting, join our exclusive sports betting Discord community at bettingpros.com/chat. Not only can you connect with some expert handicappers who will provide free picks for the NBA, NFL, MLB, NHL, player props, live betting, and more, but now you can also participate in our weekly community picks, cast your vote, and see how your picks stack up against the experts like Boggs, like Terrell, and track your success. And boys, before we jump into the handicapping for the Natty, let's look at the semifinals. Penn State, they fell to Notre Dame 27-24 in the Orange Bowl, a game they really controlled. And then Ohio State beats the Longhorns 28-14 in the Cotton Bowl Classic. Terrell, as someone, as you mentioned, no attachment to any of these teams, and you actually bet the favorites in these games, what were your biggest takeaways?
Oh, man, I mean, I thank you, Michigan, for giving me something to look forward to for these playoffs. Because through my trolling, through my sheer, I can't even imagine. Because I'm still shocked that they lost that Michigan game with how bad Michigan was this year.
Yeah,
and
it was one of the most surprising losses ever. I mean, it just was.
It propelled them to the national championship, and here we are. I mean, I'm bearing the lead. There should be no question what I'm doing here. Like, there should be no question at all.
Boggs, I think from a Cotton Bowl standpoint, Texas played a really good game. I understand the halfback toss near the goal line. It's tough to run through this Ohio State defense straight on, but still, like, to me, it's just like run it up the gut 4 times. Put an arch if you want to do something creative. Credit to Jack Sawyer, though, who made an all-time great play on that 83-yard interception. I don't think he'll be buying any drinks for himself in Columbus anytime soon.
No, I mean, they even mentioned it on the post game. You know, your Ohio State legend, legendary play. That's going to go down. They're going to have, you know, pictures of that all up and down the halls forever. Yeah. So, great play by Jack Sawyer. You know, good game. I thought the Longhorns had a good game plan on defense, and they really held. You know, Ohio State only scored 21 points. They picked the scoop and score up to get to 28. Yeah. But you know, it was right in there. It was real close at the end. They pulled it out against ASU. Just didn't have enough to pull it out 2 weeks in a row against Ohio State, who was probably the better team. And, you know, it just makes sense. So, tough call. I hated the halfback pitch, dude, because, you know, what it reminded me of, is Texas A&M being so arrogant and trying to run 3 times in a row against the Longhorns on the goal line. They did that twice and got stonewalled 2 times. So seeing that happen to A&M and then us trying to do it to Ohio State, it's like, just respect them, man. Just try a play action once, or, you know, do Arch Manning up the middle, or, like, I would rather have just not a pitch back. It's a crazy move when all that speed is on the Ohio State defense. I just did not like that call at all whatsoever. So
well, and I think that was a tough pill to swallow. And also, right before halftime, we have that huge run by Travion Henderson, and on that screen, he takes it to the house. And
I mean, that ruined the momentum, dude.
Oh, like, yeah, it was like air. It was like the air
snap.
Just right out of everybody's lungs of, wow, like, that just happened. Because were they expecting that to go for a touchdown? No,
not Ohio State some yards. They were trying to get in field goal range.
Yeah, maybe get some yards. Maybe he took it to the house, 75 yards.
Well, they weren't in prevent, but you don't need to be in prevent, but you can at least drop a couple people, and they had no one dropped.
It was perfectly called for the perfect moment, and it was just so happened that Texas didn't have the right defense out there for it, and it just, everything went right in that play. And that's what that was the play where I realized, I was like, yeah, Ryan Day has a horseshoe up his behind. Like, it is lodged up there.
His name is Chip Kelly.
Oh, it's lodged up there tight, man. Like, they're really just, everything's going Ohio State's way right now. The interception we weren't going to cover the game. That bet was not hitting. Like, if they scored right there, Texas scored right there, I know that was going to overtime. A lot of people weren't going to cover the final number that they got. Like, no, a lot of things are just going Ohio State's way right now.
And honestly, I think looking at the other game here, the Orange Bowl, Penn State, it feels like, continues to get in their own way, kind of be unlucky down the stretch. I thought overall the Nittany Lions played a great game once Andy Kotelnicki realized, like, he could just run the ball right over Notre Dame. I was screaming in the first quarter at the TV, run the ball, because every time they did, they were getting 5-6 yards a pop. And I really think it came down to 2 major mistakes for Penn State. The cornerback falling down, allowing that big Jaden Greathouse 54-yard touchdown with 5 to go. And then that route Amari Evans ran for Penn State on that last drive was absolute garbage. I think that's why.
Turn around. Look for the ball, son.
I mean,
what are you doing?
He hit the transfer portal today, and I said, see you later, sayonara.
Did he really?
Yes, he did. And I think the sad part about that is that Drew Aller was the one who fell on the sword, because Drew Aller said in the post-game press conference that he was trying to dirt that ball. He took the blame, but he didn't mention how that was actually just a ball trying to go to Evans, and he just ran a garbage route. So see you later, Amari Evans. But Boggs, I really felt like Penn State played a great game here. Just mistakes at the end, as always.
I mean, a coin flip game, for sure. That was such a, you text me after this game, you're like, I don't know if I'm getting over this one, and you have losses like that, right? I mean, national championship for Texas against Alabama, Colt McCoy goes out in the first quarter and it's over. The game is over, So, we all have those moments. This was a moment for you. It sucks. Drew Aller, it's a terrible pass. Well, it's an awful decision. Yeah, it's just one of those.
It was,
awful
and it
moments.
was bad on the coaching staff to put them make the decision. Like, it was bad on them as well. Like, you didn't have to do that. I think it was bad on. everybody.
Even McElroy, right? Terrell was like, "You got to stay aggressive. You got to keep going for it." I'm like,
why? They haven't been able to get anything all game.
Go to overtime,
all game.
man.
Just admit.
I feel like they have the advantage in OT. Yeah.
Admit it. Just admit it. You haven't been. It hasn't worked all game, and you're going to put yourself in the worst situation and think it's going to work now. Like, no. I think it was. I sit there and I'm like, wow. I mean, okay, yeah, maybe it was a garbage route, maybe it was a bad throw here, but like, why put them in that position?
Throw a screen, just get it to the running backs, get it to Tyler Warren, because that's what was working. Not even only all game long, but really all season long. And I felt like that was a microcosm.
It was going to take a really good throw. It was going to take an amazing throw, and your quarterback hasn't shown.
I mean, I understand
he can always
what they're
make
saying.
Those throws.
Believe in your guys, right? Like, when you get there, believe in your guys. Let them win it for you. That I understand the thought process, but I just you have to be calm, cool, and collected in that spot, and they just weren't.
Yeah.
And this is another, notch on the belt of James Franklin can't coach in big games. It's just another one of those things that are unfortunate. I don't know if it's really realistic, but with so much evidence against you, it's starting to look that way for real. So, the narrative is building itself at this point. That sucks.
Hey, well, 2025, 2026, that's going to be our season, Boggs. We're coming back. Well, yeah.
Season of Arch. Let's go.
Texas State makes the playoff.
Okay, I like it.
Let's go.
They got ASU early on the road. We'll see.
Oh, it's a great spot. Great spot.
Before we jump into our best bets for the national championship game, a real quick reminder to please join our college football podcast group. You can sync your picks or use the quick pick feature on the BettingPros sports betting app to get a chance to win some free prizes. Elevate your betting strategy and join the conversation today at bettingpros.com/college. All right, the college football national championship kicks off from Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time on Monday night. Ohio State, they are favored from anywhere between 8 to 9.5 points over the Fighting Irish, with a total sitting right around 45.5 points. The Buckeyes are 13-2 straight up, 9-6 ATS this season, including covering in 3 straight since losing to Michigan. They've won by an average of 19.7 points in the CFP. This is the number 1 total and scoring defense in the country, with a top 12 scoring offense to boot. Star cornerback Denzel Burke is expected to play after missing the second half of that Cotton Bowl game. And you can't really call Notre Dame a true Cinderella story, but this is the team that lost to NIU in week 2, and they've now won 12 straight to get to 14-1 straight up and a nation best 12-2-1 ATS this season. If you've been betting the Irish, you've been making money. They've covered in 10 straight coming into this one, and they are leading second in the nation in scoring defense. They are also have an offense that is running 210 rushing yards per game. They'll be without their offensive tackle, Anthony Knapp. I don't know if he was playing that great before he got injured in the Orange Bowl. They seemed to get better once they lost him, but still a big loss. Also, wide receiver Bo Collins questionable with a calf injury, although they have been going to Great House more in the postseason and phase on as well. So, Boggs, what is your official pick for a side in this game with the total sitting anywhere from 8 to 9.5?
Yeah, I'm good with anything up to 10 on the Ohio State side. And really, this game to me comes down to how does Notre Dame score the ball, right? Like, Ohio State has just done an excellent job on defense throughout the playoff. the bigger names are on offense, of course. Jeremiah Smith, Emeka Egbuka, these guys are going to, Jeremiah Smith's probably the wide receiver in the country right now.
Yeah.
And Egbuka's going to go in the first round of the NFL draft. Travion Henderson and Quinshon Judkins are both running backs that could potentially be in the first round as well. They have weapons. Will Howard, big-time transfer, finally beat Texas after 3 losses to Texas in that game. So he's pumped and he's ready to go and he's playing well. There's big names on offense, but this defense stopped Texas, held them to 14 points. They couldn't move the ball. Texas has had issues on offense, but not like this. And then that unbelievable goal line stand for the scoop and score.
Yeah.
And I just, it's hard to know how Notre Dame is going to put points on the board in this game. They're a run-first team with Riley Leonard and Jeremiah Love, but Jeremiah Love is playing gimpy. He clearly was not 100%. I think his long was 6 yards in that game. So he didn't have that big burst that he always has. Darian Price didn't really work out. So it's Riley Leonard and, 75% of Jeremiah Love. Sure, the Great House play was awesome, but your corner fell down, and they couldn't get the ball to Mitchell Evans deep at all. Everything was short and underneath. Like, where is Notre Dame scoring this ball? It's going to have to be short fields on turnovers.
Yep.
Well,
exactly.
If you're going after the quarterback at Ohio State, then you're going to leave Jeremiah Smith open. You're going to leave Egbuka open. You're going to leave Travion Henderson open for one of them little dump-off screen passes. So it's pick your poison there on defense for the Irish as well. So they've done a good job of proving me wrong this entire playoff. I feel like I've bet against Notre Dame. Last week, my only pick on my solo show was the under to the Notre Dame game, and at halftime, I was like, I'm a genius. This looks so good.
Sick.
13 points.
Sick.
And then that fourth quarter ruined it for us. Just defenses were gassed. Everybody was scoring. Yeah, it was but, I mean, I'm just going to write it again. The under is going to be my favorite bet in this game. But as far as a side, it's Ohio State for me. I think, they may have problems scoring as well. I mean, the Notre Dame defense is second in scoring, right? Mm-hmm. So, in scoring defense, and they've held teams to low totals in the playoff as well. So I don't think this is going to be an easy game for Ohio State to move the ball, but I think eventually the dam breaks and they score some points. So for me, this is Ohio State. I just have a hard time believing in the Irish.
Terrell, how do you feel about this? I know you're probably obviously going to back Ohio State, dead man walking. However, would you even maybe consider teasing this up a little bit?
Well, when you look at this national championship, you have to think about a number of things. One, Ryan Day has to be so happy that he got this opportunity in a 12-team playoff. Because if this was last year, then neither one of these teams would be in the national championship because neither one of these teams would have made the playoff. They were 5 and 6 respectively. By the way, if that Michigan loss knocked Ohio State out of the playoff, he was gone immediately. By the way, I just want you to know they were kicking him out the building immediately. But he got this second life, and you see it. You see it in him. You see it in Chip Kelly. You see it in how the offenses ran. They feel like they have a second in life, and they're starting to really, really play better. They're going to the wide receivers more. Even when those wide receivers are being taken out of the game, like Texas did a really, really good job of trying to limit the wide receivers, and then you're able to, hey, I can lean on Travion Henderson. I can lean on this running game. We can sit here. We can still try to figure this thing out. And ultimately, maybe does Notre Dame have a good defensive plan? Possibly. I like Ryan Day, Chip Kelly in this offense with time to prepare. I think they're going to come into it, and I think the defense is good enough and the defense is fast enough that they can contain Riley Leonard and not let Riley Leonard run wild on them, because that's going to be the X factor of the game. If Riley Leonard just gets out there and starts running up and down the field like he's tend to do, then it's going to be strenuous on this defense, especially when he starts getting out of the pocket and starts throwing downfield. So I think that they contain that really well. I think Notre Dame is going to struggle on offense, and I think Ohio State is going to figure it out offensively. It may not be the 30-point, wagon, but if they go out there, drop 27, and they hold to Notre Dame to 10 to 17 points, that is still this cover here. I love Ohio State to get this done.
I do as well, for sure. How do you feel, though, Boggs? You like the under of this game, which I totally understand with the two defenses. Notre Dame not the best offense as well, but the last 10 natties have gone over this total all 10 times with an average score of 56.8 points. Does that sway you off that at all? Because I was also considering the under before I went back and dug that up.
It doesn't, because I like 31-10. That's the score I keep seeing. 31-13 also, something like that.
Yeah.
That keeps us under. So I have a hard time seeing Notre Dame scoring. Could Ohio State do it all by themselves? I mean, yeah, if if they start getting desperate and start passing the ball a bunch because they're down 3 scores late or something, like that's the scenario. But I think Notre Dame is good enough defensively to keep this game close. And I think if you see that scoring, it's going to be on the Ohio State side later in the late third or early fourth when that Notre Dame defense starts to get gassed because they're out on the field too long, right? I think that defense for Ohio State is dangerous. I think they're going to hold Notre Dame to a very low total. And we saw Notre Dame kind of be stymied by Georgia, right? And kind of get extended by Georgia as well. I just think Notre Dame is going to make Ohio State earn every inch they get. So I like Ohio State to be lower scoring than normal. And I just don't know how Notre Dame is putting up multiple scores against Ohio State. So I don't see it playing that way in my mind. Could it? Absolutely. It's a national championship. Anything could happen. Turnovers can happen, that kind of stuff. But I think the under is pretty safe.
Terrell, your thoughts on the total, and do you have any interest in the team total for Ohio State, currently 27.5? I think that's probably my favorite bet to take the over on that.
I mean, it's tough because I sat there and I said, man, 27 sounds like a good number to me.
Yeah, you were right on the number.
You get your 3 touchdowns, a couple of field goals, and you're up out of here. So I don't know if I'm 100% there on the team total because I can see both points. I can see if this goes into an over game and Ohio State just puts it on them. And shoot, maybe Ohio State covers majority of this number by themselves. What if instead of 31, it's like 38? Like, I can see Ohio State getting up offensively, but my thing is I don't see it from Notre Dame. I think with the Love injury, with how much I think that the options on the outside, the wide receivers are going to struggle with the DBs of Ohio State. I don't know if they're going to be able to 100% score and move the ball. It's really going to be Riley Leonard for me. How much can Riley Leonard really affect this game by himself? So maybe a Notre Dame team total under for me.
Okay. I don't hate that play at all. Final score predictions. Give me a final score here. Boggs, you were saying something in the 30-13, 30-10 range?
Yeah, I think let's go 31-13.
31-13. I have
bumping up against that
okay.
total, but not quite there.
Okay. I have 33-14. I think this game is going to go over, but right in that same ballpark. Terrell, where are you at?
I will go with 27-17. Notre Dame gets a garbage touchdown late to make us a little bit scared of it, but at the end, it was never a doubt. It was always going to be Ohio State.
Okay, I love it. And before we jump into our props, I did want to remind everyone about the Fast Break Bets podcast. If you like betting on basketball, well then join host Terrell Furman on Fast Break Bets, your daily dose of basketball betting in 15 minutes or less. Tune in every single day for your rapid fire of all things basketball, from the W to the association to college b-ball and more. Catch the program right here on the BP YouTube channel or wherever you get your audio podcasts. All right, we're jumping into player props. Boggs, what do you got for us? I'm hoping one day I can join you in the player prop venture, but we got to figure it out. We got to figure it out here in Pennsylvania, man. There are people way smarter than me. Let's get it figured out, people, please.
Yeah, well, I think you could do underdog, right? So
yeah.
No, I can't do underdog.
You can't do underdog
oh, you can't do underdog?
Oh, can't do underdog.
At least I got
underdog. Yeah,
I at least got underdog.
Only best ball on underdog. Yeah.
That's rough.
Figure it out, PA. Come on, baby.
Yeah. Let's just come on. Quit telling people what to do with their money.
Go hop on the train and head across the border.
Yeah. Not a bad idea. Look, last week, 0 for 1 on my picks. I just had the under. My props, I went 5-5. I had a bunch of touchdown calls mixed in there, so we were even on the props. The pick was obviously good process, not a good result. It's just the way it goes sometimes. I'd like this to be low scoring, so I'm not big on the touchdown calls this week. I'll give you 2 that I like. Quinshon Judkins is -135. I don't think that number is low enough for him. Scored twice last week. He's the guy they give it to down there near the goal line. And Riley Leonard is plus money right now at 115. I don't think Notre Dame scores a ton, but I mean, plus money on a Riley Leonard touchdown. He has 16 rushing touchdowns this year. He scored in 3 of the last 4 games. I kind of like that number. And then I have 5 props for you. The first one, I'm going to go with Travion Henderson over 18.5 receiving yards. Notre Dame is likely to be protecting the big hitter, right?
Sure.
I think that's what you do with Watts. Watts is going to move all over the formation on defense. He's going to play free safety. He's going to play up on the line. He's going to play in the slot. They're going to move him around a lot. So, but I think for the most part, he's going to be, helping over the top coverage for Egbuka or Jeremiah Smith. So I think that makes those short routes pretty available for Ohio State in a lot of this game. We saw, obviously, Travion Henderson has a ton of speed, and he took that one to the house last week. So 2 to 3 catches in this game for him. He's way over this 18.5. Let's go with Carnell Tate over 38.5. Jeremiah Smith is going to have Lenny Moore and obviously probably some coverage rolled towards him. Egbuka is in the slot, which means maybe he gets Watts in that one. And Carnell Tate's over is 38.5 yards. I expect short passes in this game. Smith's ADOT is 13.2 yards. Tate's is 10.8. So Egbuka actually has the lowest at 8.2. So Egbuka is in there, but his number is up over 57, I think, somewhere in that neighborhood. So I think Carnell Tate, we saw him play pretty well against Texas. I think that could be in this game as well. Another guy in the short routes, G. Scott, over 1.5 receptions.
G. Scott, baby. Love me some G. Scott.
That's right. So G. Scott, over 1.5 receptions, performed well against Texas, 5 targets in 3 of the last 4 games. And like I said, I like these short passing options for Ohio State, so I think over 1.5 is good there. I got 3 for Notre Dame for you. Let's go Jaden Greathouse over 21.5 receiving yards and over 12.5 his longest reception. Greathouse hasn't been playing a bunch in the second half of the season. It's been going way more towards phase-on in the in the playoff here. But with Bo Collins, when Bo Collins went out, Greathouse took his spot. And Bo Collins is very questionable to play this game. I highly doubt that he's going to be 100%. And even if he does play, I think he's going to be subbed out for Greathouse on occasion. So his prop is 21.5 receiving yards, and his longest reception is 12.5. And he has plays of 34, 18, 28, 42, 26, 17, and his longest play was last week, the 54-yard touchdown of the season.
Thanks for reminding me. Appreciate that.
Sorry, buddy, but 7. He's got just 7 games with longest reception more than this. So let's go with Jaden Greathouse. And then, look, Mitch Jeter, over 1.5 field goals. I think that's very doable for Notre Dame, too. I think they're going to have to settle. I think they're going to have to take short fields. Maybe instead of 13, it's 12, and Notre Dame has to settle 4 times for field goals. But Mitch Jeter has been incredible in this run, and it's really showing that the groin injury is what had him shanking kicks earlier in the season. So I think that's a decent one to hit as well. So just to roll through them one more time, we're going Henderson over 18.5, Tate over 38.5, G. Scott over 1.5 catches, Greathouse over 21.5 receiving yards and 12.5 longest reception, and Mitch Jeter over 1.5 field goals. And sorry about that Greathouse call once again, Seth. That's
okay. I'll wear it on my sleeve like I usually do. Terrell, what's your favorite one of those props? I think for me, I'm definitely with the Judkins anytime touchdown. I think he's due for another one here this week, and I also love Travion Henderson any way I can get him.
The Riley Leonard touchdown. Bravo getting that plus money for sure. Yes, 100%. Yeah. That is 1A. 1B, of course, it's simple. The kicking prop. Come on. You come out here dropping kicking props? Yeah. Of course I'm tailing kicking props.
Love it.
Let's get it, Jeter.
Love it. So I can't bet player props, but I can bet team props. Who do you like for longest touchdown? Ohio State, They were minus 175 earlier this week, and I was considering laying the heavy juice with it. Now they're minus 185. I don't think I can get myself there at that heavy of a price tag, just in case like a pick six happens or something crazy. Terrell, would you lay 185 on that?
No way.
Okay.
Way. It could. What if it's not even that long of a touchdown? Like, what if it's like, Ohio State continuously walks down the field, gets at the 1 or the 10-yard line, and Notre Dame has some random 25-yard touchdown, and that's the longest. No way I'm laying that juice.
Yeah, I don't like it either. Like I said, I think Notre Dame, if you're Notre Dame, you string out Ohio State, you make them earn every inch. You don't give up the big play. That's what I'm defending against.
And Will Howard will throw an interception and a pick six. He will definitely throw a pick six. So if Will Howard throws a pick six and that's the longest touchdown, no way. I would never forgive myself.
Okay, I do think you can also, somewhere out there, I know you can bet on a defensive scoring a touchdown somewhere. I
bet on Ohio State last week. Sorry, Box.
Yeah, well, hey, you got it. Go get that money.
That was the greatest play for me because at that moment I said, "Oh wait, I just hit the spread. Like the spread is going to come through."
You hit the spread and you got your defense.
It was a lot. Wow. Jack Sawyer's good over here.
I'm glad you had a great day. Not so great.
I'm so sorry.
So
hey, well that's all right, guys, because it's been just an absolute great season here on the program.
It has.
Can't thank both of you enough for riding with me all season long. This has been.
You've been great, Seth. Don't sell yourself short, man. It is fun working with you as well. This is
agreed,
a great
man.
Show. We love it.
Agreed. Yeah, that's going to do it for us today on the Betting Pros College Football Show and in general for the 2024 season. Thank you so much for watching and riding alongside with us. Again, please like this video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the BP YouTube channel and the podcast feed. Plus, download the Betting Pros app for Scott Bogman and Terrell Furman Jr. I am Seth Woolcock. Take care, y'all.